Hello everyone, welcome to today's analysis for Tuesday, September 9th. So another green day in the books, as you can see on ES. We are now pretty close to a new all-time high, and the weekly candle so far printing very nicely. We ideally want to close through this main area of resistance that we've had for the last 4 weeks. Also, news tomorrow, we are having PPI 8:30 a.m. Thursday, CPI 8:30. So we're going to have some big market moving events pre-opening coming up. Here on the daily, you can see we finally were able to close through the 65.15 level on a daily time frame candlestick, and so far we are now pushing a little bit up in the Asia hour, so we're pretty close to a new all-time high. Here on the 4-hour, you can see today another pivotal pullback right into 64.91. Very important level, as we talked about yesterday. If I go into the hourly, you can see this level, we marked it off. This was coming all the way back from the weekend, but you can see yesterday we had this very key retest at the end of the day, and then the push up, and we were getting right out of this high volume node. Then today we dipped right back in, and once again we recovered that level. So very nice false break opportunity here presented today. Wick below the pullback low here, close back above on top of this low volume node support, and you can see here big edge on the weekly. Then from here we had 65.16 was our overall daily target, which was this support broken high of Monday. We came right into that level here during the Europe Open, and then we got the big pullback at 10 a.m. and then we ended up with a push up, almost reaching an all-time high. This has been a recurring theme. If we look at the charts, we've been getting a lot of late day pushes where we have a down move, market pushes up at the end, pushes up at the end, pushes up. This one the same, pushes up at the end, push up, push up. So the last few hours of pretty much almost every day in the last 7 or 8 days have been a very nice recovery. And here especially, you see Monday, Tuesday, we started establishing a range here on this high volume node, and we were able to break out from the daily level right at the end of the day. So now 65.16 is our key level to look for any kind of pullback. Below that, 65.08, which is right in line with our weekly VWAP here as well. Okay, and all-time high right up above this, and then all-time high targets. If we zoom out, we have the trend line we've been talking about, 4 very precise touches. So this is going to be now what we're going to be using as a target on the next moves here. We can also do measure moves as well here. Like for example, here we have this rotation up here, pullback, and now we're coming back into another rotation off of this. So if we put a Fibonacci extension, you can see the 127.20, 161.80 as well. But most of all, I will be using this trend line as the confluence factor for this. As far as levels, well, you can definitely see this very key level to hold right here, and then below that 64.61, which is this huge high volume node edge. So the make or break level for bulls for me is 64.61, but ideally we want to hold the lows right here for the rest of the week going into CPI and PPI. Hourly chart with weekly profiles. So key level, as we see here, going back 2 weeks ago, this was the highs from 2 weeks ago. Then this was support here before we broke, resistance, and now we broke out. So this is the area that I'm saying very key now on any pullbacks, and ideally we do not lose this low volume node support area that we have here. Also big low volume node support right there as well. This was the pullback lows from Monday, Tuesday as well. Everything is still pointing very bullish. Again, we just need to hold these lows right here in the 64.90s. TPO, we finally cleared out the single prints here that we had from last Friday at the open today, and we've just filled in this single prints on the overnight profile. So right now we don't have any poor high lows or single prints close by. All-time high very close up there, so next target up there. Ticks, if I zoom out, you can see overnight we had the push down, then the move up, found support at the Valley area high, top edge of this high volume node. Then eventually we came and started holding the lows of the extended trading hours at the naked point of control right over here. Let me extend this line. So this was the naked point of control, and you can actually see this was lows of overnight and then nice support into the open until we broke right around 10:30. We did break this and come down, but then if we zoom out, you can see the lows of the regular trading hours today was exactly at the high volume node edge and the lows of the overnight here. This was the wick below, and then the recovery here we had resistance, then came broken. So this had a nice breaker pattern here where we have, let me grab the rectangle. So pretty much we had the cluster here of candles on this push up, came down, wick below the overnight lows coming from over here. Then we got right back above this level, turned resistance to support, 2 tests, and then we started the whole grind and break to the upside. And going into the 5-minute, so you can see the late day push up, and now we started the pullback down. And so far we are holding at this first low volume node area, but deeper pullback, I'm looking at the naked point of control, Valley area high from RTH as the next main level. And this is lining up. You can see our daily level is exactly lined up with the POC of the RTH session. So this is going to be the main area for me to look for any deeper pullbacks where I would like to see market holding on this area here. Or potentially we can have a false break, and then we would look if we can just reclaim. So any move down and then getting back above 65.16, for me that will be a very good signal of a impending move to squeeze back up. Nasdaq weekly chart, you can see we've already wicked above last week's high on Nasdaq. Daily, we have, I talked yesterday about the inside day. So you can see we did wick above and close back inside on Tuesday. So this would indicate that we potentially have a move down to the other edge. But let's see, so far we are holding at this area. This is, of course, a pretty heavy resistance zone, as you can see right here, into the 23,900s. But we are not far off from the all-time high. 4 hour and 1 hour. So we've talked a lot about this high volume node areas. We have the top edge level right over here. Huge resistance at 23,881 Friday, Monday, Tuesday. We did wake up today, but now we're coming right back down into here. So below there, next high volume node, and you can see just like ES, very key level here, 23,730 was this big support, broke. Then we got back above this Monday and found support again there. And now today, the low of Tuesday went right back into this bottom edge area of this node, and another move edge to edge from side to side on this node. We did end up pushing further up. So if I zoom out, this is the next area of interest. So we have this, there's a smaller one here, and you can see right there, this is right at the top edge of this node. So ideally we want any pullbacks here holding, but what we want to see is a strong close above, turn this bottom low volume node area as support. Then we will look to 23,924, and then a move to the upper edge, 23,963 would be the next target up. If I zoom out, you can see this top edge of this node has been massive resistance area here. So something like this would be what I would like to see. Come up, test here, hourly level and right around the point of control, then turn this area to support, and 23,960s would be our next target up. If we can turn this area as well, then 24,010 right at this wick high and this low volume node zone will be our next target. Downside, well, definitely this is the make or break level now. 23,730, you can see big high volume node from the weekly profile. So this is the bottom edge that we need to hold. If we come down and break below this, we do have this gap here potentially to fill into this. So one scenario that I would be paying attention to here is if we break down here, wick into this level, and then come back and regain this level, and then we start pushing back up. A strong close through this, and then we're potentially turning this whole area into resistance, and then we would look for a back test and a move back down all the way into the Friday lows, 23,520s pretty much. But overall, you can see we are within this weekly high volume node. So we want to see now a continuation and look to play an edge to edge on this node that we have above. Weekly profiles. So here, going back 4 weeks, you can see this high volume node here and just a very, very key level, which is right where we were rejecting today. Bottom edge here. And you can see this was the high of Friday, Monday, and now the area of rejection today. So this is the node that I was talking about. If we mark the 2 edges, this is the zone that I would be looking to work in tomorrow. If we can get up and turn this bottom area into support, then we're looking for a move to the upper edge of this node. If this fails, then we're looking for a move back to the low volume node support here from the weekly profile that we have, which is also lining up nicely with this cuts in volumes from last week as well. TPO. Right now, we just have this single prints from the overnight on Sunday night, Sunday into Monday. So that's pretty much the main level that we have as far as singles or poor high, poor lows. But you can see here we are establishing, if I start merging these profiles, merge with prior, merge with prior, merge with prior. You can see when we do this composites, these are useful in the sense that we can start analyzing the value area of the composites, which in this case would be here. So if we push down and accept back into this value area, then potentially we could be making a move to the bottom edge of value that we have there. But undo all merges, so right there. But overall, going back to the hourly, like I said, the key level is 23,730, which would be pretty much the bottom edge here from the composite that we saw. Going into ticks, extended trading hours high right into the highs from regular trading hours yesterday. And then going into the regular market open, you can see on this drive down, very nice reaction off of the bottom edge of this high volume node and the value area low from the previous RT8 session from Monday right there. We did come up and then we came down into again, the pullback area here, right at the lows of today yet again. And here you can see another nice example of a failed breakdown setup where we have the lows here from yesterday's RTH, broke below, started finding resistance, then we got back above, and now we flipped this once again to support. So this is pretty much an over-under pattern as well, that we talked about. This pattern is present a lot everywhere. And then we had nice breakout here and the grind up for the rest of the session. Currently, we are drifting down here on the overnight, but for now we are finding support at the 23,881 area. If we do come deeper down, then we have the naked point of control first, followed by our big daily level, 23,804, okay, which you can see lines up very nicely with the extended hours low volume node edge, and also we have some low volume node support as well from the RTH level. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hope you're having a great week, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.